Hey, welcome to Davita's Stampin' Spot. It's Thursday and I have another project for you. I taught classes at my mom's place this week, and if you can see boxes in the back, that means I don't have everything put away yet. Kind of a common theme with me, if you know me at all. I want to share one of the projects that we made in the class. I just thought it was really fun, and I think the ladies really liked it. So I'm going to swing the camera around here so we can get started. I am going to need my paper trimmer today. So this is a piece of the Scenic Coast Designer Series paper. If you haven't seen this, then you haven't been on crafting websites because everyone is using it. It is out of stock, supposed to be back in the warehouse next week. So hopefully we'll be able to buy more real soon. I have a 1.5 square and a 1 3/4 square, 4 by 5 1/4 white. I have two window sheets that are 3 3/4 by 5 and a card base that's 5.5 by 8.5. And I scored it the normal 4 1/4. I need to cut my paper down so that it is 4 by 5 1/4, same size as the white. So I'm going to start by taking an inch off the bottom. And then I need it to be, oh goodness, trying to think here, make sure I did this right. I gave the ladies a hard time last night because they had to rethink things every once in a while, and now I'm having to do the same thing. All right, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch off this side and a 1/4 inch off here because I needed it 5 1/4. And then I want it 3 and 3/4. No, I want it 4 this way. Yeah, I think I want it right there. Hardest part's deciding which of the paper you have to cut off. It's always so hard to cut it off. Now, here's probably the trickiest part of the card. I'm going to put it at a 1/2 inch on this side, and I'm going to turn my paper trimmer around first. Here we go. All right, so we're going to go to a 1/2, and the reason I turned it around is this line that runs all across there is at a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to start my trimmer at that 1/2 inch spot. And then what I'm doing is I'm making a 1/2 inch frame all the way around. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to have to turn it like this so I can see it. Sorry, guys. We're going to go at a 1/2 inch there. And then my paper's 5 1/4. So a 1/2 inch is 4 3/4. I'm going to go to 4 3/4. Now, for ease, I'm going to swing this all the way around, put it at a 1/2 inch, and put my trimmer back down because it's still in that same spot, and then go down to the line again. Pick it up. Now I'm going to do the other two sides. So I'm going to go to a 1/2 inch. And now I'm going to cut from that 1/2 inch line. This is 4, so I'm going to go to 3 1/2. Pick it up, swing it around, go to a 1/2. And one of the ladies at class said, if I was at home, I would just use a rectangle die. So if you don't want to cut it out like I just did there, grab a rectangle die that will work. All right, now for the fun part. That was the trickiest part, and as you saw, it really wasn't hard. You just need to watch your numbers. And I did have several ladies tell me over the time of the class this week that our paper trimmer is one of the best ones out there. So if you don't have one of our paper trimmers, I'd be happy to help you get one. But they just have thought of all the little things that make it so nice when you're cutting. All right, there's my card base. We're going to take this piece here and I'm going to glue it right in the center of the front. And I'm gambling today because I did not test my adhesive first. I am recording this early today. Going to help my daughter with grandkids tomorrow. And I wasn't sure I'd be back in time. So, but I would like you to comment down below the video today. Would you like me to do lives instead of videos? Does it make a difference for you? And if it does, please tell me. Let me know in the comments down there. I can try and figure out a way to do some lives, at least this summer. It's always harder during the school year, but during the summer, it's a little easier. All right, so I have my frame upside down, and I'm going to take my liquid glue. You could use tear tape. You could use the tape runners. I had some use tape runners. I had some use liquid glue, and everybody's worked just fine. So I don't think it really matters. I'm going to put adhesive all the way around. Then I'm going to grab one of the window sheets that is 3 3/4 by 5. And I wanted it to be 1/4 of an inch smaller than my frame because I didn't want to have to worry about it going over the edge. Okay, so there we go. There's that. I just realized I forgot to pull out my sheets here. Well, we're going to open a new package because mine are somewhere in another box. If you don't have the foam adhesive strips and you want to make shaker cards, it is so worth the investment to purchase these. What is really nice is they work kind of like our glue dots, or not glue dots, sorry, our dimensionals. And that means there's paper on both sides, but when you peel it off, then peel that paper off, you can stick it right down. Now, I also learned something along the way. You want to put your strip pretty close to that inside cut. When I did mine, I put it closer to the outside, and my little sequins got lost because they could get stuck down below the window, and then you couldn't see them. So you want to put it just below the window here, like that. And we're going to do it on all 4 sides. Oh, that's pretty close. All right. So the window sheets, I remember when they first came out with these, oh my gosh, we were so excited because we weren't having to cut glue dots and try to make sure that we didn't leave an open space. And oh, these are just so easy to use. So easy to use. All right. Like that. Put this in here. Snip it off. There we go. Now I have my frame. Now you're going to have to pretend these are the frosted dots that are on clearance because I used the golden sequins, loose gold sequins, and they're gone. They moved. Since I designed this class, they went to last chance, and now they're all sold out. So pretend these are the frosted dot ones, which I think the frosted dot would be really pretty because I think those colors would blend in with the colors of this gorgeous designer series paper and be very pretty. Now, let me tell you some things I've learned along the way with this. Some people were saying, well, you could just adhere this right onto the front of the card. That is true, but you're going to have to kind of do some adhesive work where you can't see where your stuff is going because you need to place this on top of here. So think about that. If you turn this over, you can't really see where you're adhering it. If I go the other way, all the sequins are going to come out. So thanks to Sharon Armstrong, she shared this idea with me in a video. I'm going to take a second window sheet and put it over here. Same size as the other window sheet. So it's going to fit behind my frame, but it's going to hold all those sequins in place. All right. Then all I have to do is attach this. Now, another thing that was a personal preference for me is I cut my designer series paper down to 4 by 5 1/4 because I wanted a little edge. It is a little bulky because you've got two window sheets, the foam adhesive, and then your frame. So because it's a little more bulky, I wanted a little bit of a frame from the front of the card so that I could, I don't know, it wasn't right on the edge that way. And I liked that better. So that is a little different than if you watched Sharon's idea. All right. So there you go. Look at that shaker card. I had a lot of static. Ooh, you don't shake it till you're sure it's glued down, right? All right. So I'll give it a second there. And I can tell there was some static in there. They're sticking together. So now you could always dress it up more because the ladies were making several cards. I didn't have them do anything else. I know Sharon had people stamp on the designer series paper, but I thought it was just really cool. Isn't that funny? All that static in there. There we go. Now it's coming. But it'll shake once all that static comes off. But let me show you what I did for the inside. So I thought it would be fun to take this strip that I cut off and adhere it on the inside of the card. So this is the 1-inch strip I cut off the bottom. And I thought the gold and everything is kind of like bright and sunny. So am going to grab the stamp that says, "You brighten my day," because I thought the gold was just bright and sunny and shiny. All right. And let's see if I actually got that stamp set in here. I thought I did. Well, maybe not. So I'll show you. So here's the one they made at class. Maybe this is even better for you to see. So you can see the difference. This looks like a picture, but then you have a lot of bulk right on the edge and you have to make sure it lines up perfectly. And I'm not very good at that. So that's why I chose to go in a 1/2 inch all the way around. So personal preference. And you can see how the static is making it really, I'm going to have to play with this before I give it to anybody because they're sticking. And you can see my lesson learned. See how they all disappear down there? And that's because I didn't put the foam right on the edge there. And here they stay. All right, so here's what I'm going to do for the inside. So I cut my strip. I'm going to put "You Brighten My Day" and then kind of make it like a belt there. So that's how I will finish it. But I'm not going to have you wait to help me, wait for me to find my stamp set because it may still even be out in my kitchen. All right, if I can help you order anything, I would love to be one of the demonstrators you order from. I hope you enjoy this project, and I will see you next week. Have a great weekend.